Good afternoon from Mexico and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today marks 4 years since we moved from Utah to Mexico to keep our family together. And I'm gonna be honest, there are a lot of emotions that come with this day for me because something I haven't really talked about on my platform is what it was like the first night and honestly couple of weeks that I lived in Mexico. And so I thought I would take some time today to share with you what that was like because I haven't done a story time in a while. So here goes nothing. So 4 years ago on this date at 6 a.m. in the morning, I met my mother, my friend Andrea, my sister-in-law, my 2 nieces, and my nephew at the airport to say goodbye. And it was Diego and me and our Shih Tzu. And we had 2 flights ahead of us because we had a layover. And although I had spent months preparing for the day that I left the States, it still was such a hard day. It was so hard to say goodbye. And we got on the plane and it was a pretty long flight, and Diego and I were both pretty sad to leave, but at the same time excited to get back to Mexico. Now, I had already sent all of my stuff down, or our stuff down, with a truck that moved things from the States to our town, and I honestly had no idea what to expect when we got to Mexico. And it was pretty late at night because there were some delays in our flight and we had the dog with us. And honestly, the whole trip down here was kind of a big mess. But when we eventually got here, I walked into the home that we had rented, or that Fidel had set up for us to rent. And sorry, excuse my child. So we got to the rental for the first time in Mexico. And like I said, I had no idea what to expect. And when I walked into the rental, it was empty. And I had never seen a house so empty, but it was because the house that we were renting was unfinished, just like the one that we're in now. And there was no refrigerator. There were no cupboards. There were no closets. We didn't even have water in the house because Fidel earlier that day had just moved in and finished renting the house, and so there wasn't even water there. And I think because it was a combination of having to say goodbye to my family and the shock of encountering it for the first time and what it was going to be like. I remember sitting on the one bed that we had. It was a very like a twin bed. And we all 3 were going to sleep on it. And I remember sitting down and looking around, and I cried because it was like my brain wasn't convinced that it was going to work yet. And I talk a lot about how beautiful my life in Mexico is here, and something that I haven't talked about a lot, and I don't think that a lot of people talk about when they talk about this kind of thing is how hard it is when you actually make the move, especially the first night. And over the next couple of weeks, we spent, those weeks putting together the house and making it a home. And I was also dealing with the loss of my family, even though I could video call them. It still felt like I'd lost them. And I was also getting acquainted to what it was like to spend Christmas here because it was our first Christmas in Mexico. And I had never experienced Christmas the way that they celebrate it in Mexico. And so everything was new. And I had a lot of self-doubt. I think that I had a very hard time letting go of what I thought my life was going to look like and my plan for my life and our life. And so I struggled, and I remember one time in particular, I was doing laundry and we had a cisterna. So for those of you that don't know what those are, it is a big cement hole in the ground, like a box basically, and they put water in it. It has a top on it, and we would tie a string to a bucket, and then you'd put the bucket down in, and you would lift the water up to do laundry. And so one day I was doing laundry, and the water was extremely low, almost out. And then my husband interrupts. Okay, continuing with my story. Sorry for the breaks. And so I was getting ready to do laundry, and I had already pulled up a couple of buckets of water. And at this time, I was washing my clothes by hand. I didn't have a washer, and it was kind of hot outside, and I was trying to get it done because I thought, today I'm just going to get my laundry done, and it's going to be a good day. And I remember that I put the bucket in, and the string or the rope slipped from my hand and fell into the cisterna. And I remember that I kind of just fell to my knees and I cried. And I called my best friend and I took a picture and I sent it to her. And I said, "This is how my day's going. How's your day going?" So there were a lot of moments that I struggled. And I still get emotional about it because it still feels so raw. But so there were a lot of days in the beginning that I really struggled. And I remember one day when I was getting ready, I was thinking, if I continue to think about what I'm missing, then I'm going to miss all of the good things that are happening here. And so I had kind of made the decision that day that I was going to start letting go of what my plan was and my ideas were for my life in the States and our life in the States. And I was going to embrace what I had here and make Mexico our home. And so that's what I did. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't always easy. And there are still days that aren't easy. But once I let go, I really started to see the beauty in Mexico. The little things, the smell of clean clothes hanging on the line, and the sound of the gas truck at 5 a.m. And the simplicity of being able to just step outside and breathe clean, fresh air and watch my kid play outside. And see, I knew that I was going to cry pretty much this whole video. The other thing, though, that I didn't realize was that the entire time that we were in the States, when Fidel was taken from us, I didn't see Diego laugh with his whole body. And he just didn't seem as happy. And so I remember one night we were sitting and we were having a fire outside, and we were roasting marshmallows, and him and Fidel were going back and forth about something. I think one of them dropped a marshmallow or something, and the other one was making fun of them. And I remember my kid laughing with his whole body. And I thought, wow, I haven't seen him laugh like that in so long. And so I just knew. I knew that we were exactly where we were meant to be. And things started to go well for me contract-wise with work. For those of you that don't know, I have my MBA and I do freelance work from home. And so things started to go well with my work. And it was almost as if as soon as I let go of all of these ideas and plans that I had in my head and ideas of how things were supposed to be, that everything here started to fall into place. And my life started to feel ordinary, but in a good way. And my family was happy and healthy. And man, it has been a roller coaster. 4 years. And if you would have asked me 4 years ago if I thought that my life would lead to me living in Mexico, I would have told you not until I'm retired. But we don't get to choose. And we don't always get to choose what happens in our lives. But 4 years. And I am incredibly grateful each day for these 4 years, because as hard as it was in the beginning, I can't imagine not having moved here. I can't imagine not having moved here. I can't imagine not being with my husband. And I can't imagine not having our second child, which are all things that wouldn't have happened if we hadn't made this decision. And so I just want to let anybody out there that is going through this or is facing this decision, I just want you to know that not every day is easy. Whether you move here or you stay in the States, not every day is easy. It's not going to be easy. But life is not easy. Life will push you and, throw you on the ground, and you have to keep getting back up and you have to keep fighting. And that's just, unfortunately, the things that you have to do. But I promise that you will get your day where everything feels like it's supposed to. So there's my story time for you guys today. So as we celebrate 4 years in Mexico, I couldn't be more grateful for this beautiful country, my beautiful family, and each and every one of you who have decided to share this journey with us and be a part of it. So here's to 4 years and many, many more years to come in Mexico, in our home. Have a good day, guys.